Hello and welcome, my name is Orca and today I'll be talking about the Archon, the rank 8 Jericho destroyer. This destroyer is pretty neat and it's slightly more unique than the rest of the rank 8 destroyers because when you start at the main screen in which you assemble the ship, you will see the usual special modules. By the way, I will strongly suggest the Jericho energy router because, uh, well, obviously the shields and the general regen kind of a build. Um, the other two, the Empire and the Federation, are not really that good for this ship, but if you devise better better build or a different build or a meta build, well, you can go for those two as well. But for someone who doesn't have any experience, who doesn't have any destroyers, and this is the first destroyer, uh, chances are that you're better off with the Jericho energy router. So with the additional shield regen and everything, it will be a great asset to your ship and everything. Let's move on to level 4 bonuses. So we have main weapon damage, kinetic weapon spread and projectile bonuses, as well as EM. So uh, the main thing why this destroyer is a bit more precise in building is mainly the level 4 bonuses. So if you have an idea how to make this destroyer, you can decide on which weaponry you're gonna go for. So in this case, it's best to go for one of these two options. My option was the plain and simple main weapon damage increase. So that's the one I chose for because I changed the weaponry too often. So uh, I just left it there, but I would suggest one of these two if you have a general idea which weapon you're gonna use. Is it Halo or Coils? If it's Meson Cannon, you should probably go for the main weapon damage increase. As for the level 8 bonuses, uh, they are classic power increase, cooldown decrease, and energy drain decrease. So in this case, I would strongly suggest uh, to go for the energy drain because you will have some issues with the energy drain on this ship unless you go for some uh, let's say reactor slots and stuff. So in this case, it's best to go for the power increase. So this is the very basic kind of a build, the base of every other build, uh, just for gathering the necessary experience and knowledge and everything before devising a better build. So what I would suggest is going for straight 2 or 3 slots in shields, maybe 1 or 2 in the hull region. So you have a tanky ship, and it's going to be really helpful. So let's move on to the last slot. So in the last slot can be used for either CPU or reactor or engines, depending on however you want to play it. I would just like to say you can play the destroyers however you want it. You can play them in various ways. You don't have to play it in a specific default way. You can play it in meta ways. There's many ways to play a ship like this that can be manufactured with custom modules and everything. So I chose for my Archon 1 capacitor, 3 shields, and 2 hull. So this is the general idea. If you happen to have a better idea or devise a better build or anything, you can refit the Archon whenever you want. So as you can see, I can refit it whenever I want, and it costs 3 million credits. So in this case, this would be the all-rounder build. So this build will be able to be used like in PvE, PvP, open space, so on, and it's really useful to me in most cases. So I don't have to refit every time for something special. I just re-equip some modules, change some small things, and that's it. So with this ship, you can either go full regen, a bit regen with some nice resists and volumes on shields. It totally depends on how you want to play the shield part of this ship. So for instance, I chose shield regeneration with some decent resistances. You can change this for either more volume. I would leave the resists as they are because they are really important and everything. So I would most likely change the regeneration speed for more, uh, let's say, more shield points. So you have 62 instead of 48 thousand points. So you basically lose around 90 points per second in shield regeneration, but you gain a huge amount of shields. So those are the two options you have with this build, this all-rounder build I'm presenting. So these are the two main ways to utilize this build. As for the capacitor, it's pretty straightforward, the voltage regulator, and that's it. For the hull, you can go for the crystal plates and some reinforced beams for extra hull strength, but in case you don't have the crystal plates, you can change it, let's say, for more resistances. Either go for reactive armor and thermal resistance. So in this case, I have a nice volume and resistances ratio. So in this case, it's also a viable option. But if you want to, you can go for crystal plates. They are a bit harder to attain, but they can be attained with the latest event. So they are 30 xenocrystals or something like that. So it's still possible to take and make some of those crystal plates with the xenocrystals. So for instance, I chose the Meson Cannon as the most default weapon for my showcases because it can be used in various ways and stuff. Also, I chose the static shields because you will need the static shields all the time to soak in the damage you will be getting on your shield. So they are pretty good at tanking and stuff. So I would totally suggest to go for static shields in this build rather than the heavy repair drones. So as usual, two heavy hitters on the top and the bottom, Pyro and the Tempest. The multi-phase shield is a must-have, and it's really important to have a nice timing on this module because it will save you in a numerous ways, and it can out-tank even the greatest damage you can attain in the game, in the match, open space, PvE, wherever. So this is an extremely invaluable module that will save your ship in multiple ways, and wormhole is pretty much self-explanatory. You can move around with it however you want. So let's go to the crew. In the crew, I chose more resistances on the hull. Uh, since I'm using Meson Cannon, I chose more uh, reduced CC effects and spread, but you can also go for other weapons and choose the sensor range increase and weapon range increase. So those are the two options. This is a must-have, increases the shield resistances. Uh, rank 4 implants are pretty basic, whatever you choose you can't go wrong, so I'm gonna skip that. This is a must-have on every destroyer. You need rotation speed. Since I'm alpha damage kind of building this ship, I'm going for extra damage, and you can also go for the alpha inhibitor VPN in case you go for halo or coils for the projectile speed. And as for the 7 implant, you can either go for afterburner energy reduce or capacitor volume increase. Those are two options. Whatever you choose, it's good. But I would go for the beta accelerator CU type B, because you'll be tanking damage from your shield and it will give you in turn the energy needed to sustain yourself. So this is just too good to pass, and it should be used, but depending on your preferred actions you can choose the other two. And the rank 8 implants are pretty useless because they are triggered by multipurpose modules. Multipurpose modules aren't available for destroyers, so well, they are useless. So this is my all-rounder build. I hope this build will help those who don't have any knowledge about destroyers and how to build one, how to manage one and such. Uh, so try this build out, manage something with it, gather some experience, knowledge, and everything in between, and devise the best build for your playstyle, because every player has its own playstyle and it's useless to just copy someone else's build. But there is a baseline where you can start at least, so you don't have to experiment too much and waste too much credits. You can start with this and move on to a better build that will help you out in the future. So I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, subscribe, like the video. If you don't like it, download it. Let me know in the comment sections why you liked it, why you didn't like it, what's the best part. If you have any requests or something special, write it down in the comment section and I'll be happy to oblige. So until next time, see ya.